how to create your perfect day every day. And we're going to have Brian Swan from the Unstoppable family break it down for you. Now, in general, only about 1 to 2% of the population ever writes down their ideas and goals on a regular basis. Yet, among those who become famous or successful, writing about their goals and ambitions is a very common trait. Now let's take Bruce Lee for example. In 1969, he wrote out his goals, what he wanted to accomplish in Hollywood before he was a big shot, how much money he wanted to create, he wanted to become the best Oriental actor in Hollywood, and the kind of life he wanted to live after. And he did just that before any of this actually happened. And it's always those crazy ones, having all the fun and changing the world.
Hola, this is Brian Swan coming at you from Bocas del Toro, Panama, and I'm just part of the Unstoppable family. I'm sure that you've seen my wife Rhonda, also my little baby girl, running around somewhere around the world. So what I'm going to share with you today, I want you to suspend your beliefs just for a bit, because when I was introduced to this, probably 5.5, 6 years ago, I thought it was kind of hokey pokey. It's really transformed my life, and that's why you're here. So I'm going to share this with you, and I want to let you know it's not going to cost you anything. So relax, sit back, chill out, just like myself here in my funky picture that I got behind here. I don't even know what it is. Enjoy it. I'm going to give you a couple disclaimers. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician, lawyer, whatever. So take what you like, leave the rest. All right. So there's a reason that you're here right now with me. You're searching for experience? I don't know. I want to give you a little background about myself. I went to high school. From there, met with a counselor, suggested to go into engineering because I was good at math, so I went to university. From there, I interviewed, got a corporate job. I'll tell you what, I had a 6-figure job coming out of school, had a company car, insurance, so-called American dream, or wherever you live. It doesn't matter. This is, the so-called ideal lifestyle. One thing that I knew was when I watched people who've been in my position for, let's say, 15, 20 years from them, I could see that they were not happy. And I made a decision 5 years into my corporate gig that I was not going to be one of those people. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew that this was not my passion. And I'm going to come back to this. You have to be passionate about what you do. For me, calculating numbers and doing engineering was not passion for me. Surfing, dreaming about that. Then realizing also while I'm working this dream corporate job, I only had 2 weeks of vacation per year. So now, that's all I dreamt about. I had no passion for what I was doing. Now, the gift that was given to me, and I'm going to give you a little hint, it was actually not me that took the action. My wife had the higher power there. She shared this with me after she knew she wanted to go and get something better. So this exercise that I'm going to share with you today, it will change the way that you view life, and it will alter the way you think. When I experienced it for the first time, I had a new passion about myself. And for instance, I wanted to travel the world and go surfing all the time. And by what I got to experience, what I'm going to share with you, has allowed me to do exactly what I want to do, and that's live my passion. And so it may not be surfing for you. It may be just staying at home with your kids, and maybe playing guitar, maybe playing Wii with your kids, I don't know, going camping. You got to find out what that passion is. And what we're going to go through here will help you understand how to get there. So when you tap into the real you, there's going to be a sense of calmness. Before, I used to be Brian Swan, the engineer. Now I'm Brian Swan, the guy that's traveling around the world with his family, surfing the world's best waves, enjoying life, seeing the cultures of everywhere. I'm just me. I'm no guru, I'm me now. In life, there's a balance. And when you have that balance, you attract the right people into your life. 5+ years ago, I was introduced to this exercise. And the first time I actually got to visualize what my ideal day would look like, this was the first time I ever put pen to paper to write out what does my ideal day look like. And this is why I still had a job, a corporate job as an engineer. We were on the path of accumulating houses, bigger houses, cars, more cars, house stuff to put in your houses, to fill that house. And I tell you, the more we accumulated, it was more of a sense of false being for me. I wasn't totally happy, even though I thought the more I make, the more I spend, the more I accumulate, and that's just the way it is. But there was something inside of me that wasn't all the way connecting. It was almost like a lie to myself. And I tell you what, we had to lose everything, go through bankruptcy, and really get hit to the wall with, wow, you know, you can have everything, lose it all, but what do you have? And it's the inner peace within yourself that I'm going to share with you on this exercise, that it comes from within. You can still have your ideal day. You can still have your ideal thing. Sometimes it's just not going to be the route you believed it was actually going to be. And here's where the makeover happened. This is where we started attracting the ideal people we wanted to work with. Before, it was really just attracting people who wanted just things. Now it's attracting the lifestyle. You know, no more stress of managing multiple properties, no more stress waking up to anxiety of worrying about lawyers, lawsuits, etc. Now it's just being myself, attracting people that are looking for the experience of life. And now money's flowing, it's fun. I get to go live out my passion, go surfing, have fun, being with my wife, being with my kids. It's all come back together, and it's from the same exercise, but you just got to keep on working on yourself and getting to exactly what you want. Because maybe the first time that you go through it, you think you want that, but it just may not be that way. Now, before I get to this exercise, I'm going to go over a few key points. At least in my experience, it is about the experience and it's not about the things. You can accumulate a bunch of crap, but all it is things. When you're on your deathbed, you never wish that I just had more things. It's always about the time with your friends, family, loved ones, and that experience. And when you're real and you're authentic, and now with this business, being in social media like this, people can see how people are living and they're going to know if you're full of crap. So the main thing here is be real, be authentic, and it is about the experience. So now I'm going into the formula. And let me just back it up from when you first started watching. I am no guru. I didn't make up any of this stuff. This was something that I heard from somebody who heard from somebody else who heard from somebody else, and I have no idea. This has probably been for thousands of years. I'm passing it on to you. I'm paying it forward, so enjoy it. Here it is, the formula for happiness and effortless cash flow. Now, I'm not going to take credit for this. I'm actually going to give it to Frank Curtin, but I know he took this from somebody else, who took it from somebody else, who took it from somebody else. It gels with me. I like it. I'm sure you'll like it too, and this will help explain where we're at. It is E plus I equals L. E plus I equals L. So what does E stand for? Experience. To me, experience is about everything in life. Experience is what we do from day to day, every day, how we experience it with our friends or family. Experience is the key. I stands for identity. This is very important. The identity is it somebody that you think is you, or is it the real you? Just being you. So you have the experience, you have your identity, and the L, what does it stand for? It stands for life. And what do we want in life? It's the combination of the experience and our identity. Actually, that equals our life. And when you think about that, that's a big aha moment. Glad to share that with you. Don't know where it came from, but I love it. So here's the good news. Drum roll, please. You are dying. All right, so now let's just look at this. Most likely, we're gonna have 50 more years left of our life. Now, not for everybody, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna at least live 50 more years of my life, hopefully. If I calculate that out in days, we're looking at 18,262.5 days left of my life. I used to be an engineer, okay? So I got that calculation down. So now, your life is made up of individual days. Now, how would your life look like if you had your ideal average day? So now, this is the one question that is going to change your world. Now, yes, this possibly is getting into the hokey pokey. If there was no limitations or consequences, what would your ideal average day look like? And I'm going to repeat that. If there was no limitations or consequences, what would your ideal average day look like? Okay, language is very important. So what does this mean? Let's use myself as an example, because this is what I like to do. I like to surf. I'm a surfer, okay? So we have some limitations with this. Financially, if I'm gonna go travel the world, surf the world's best waves, I have to have finances to hop on a plane, have my wife, have my little baby girl, jump on a plane, right? You gotta have the finances to do that. Now, geographically, I'm gonna use this as an example. 20 years, the first 20 years of my life, I lived in Illinois, and if I was surfing Lake Michigan, that's one thing, but typically you're not gonna get any surf there. So geographically, I could not be a surfer and live in the state of Illinois. So for all the people around the world, in Australia, Europe, Illinois is in the middle, called the Midwest of the United States. It's just not really possible. Health. If I don't have the health to do it, I'm gonna drown out there. So I gotta eat right, I gotta exercise right, I gotta have that health to do it. And then also, I gotta be around the people that are gonna benefit me and that support me in this, right? So you have how many people are limiting in what you wanna do. Probably a lot of people back from where I grew up thinking I'm a surfer. It's crazy. If you wanna do it, go do it, whatever it is. Now also, on constructing this ideal day, there's gonna be consequences. So it's not like I'm gonna be riding 100-foot waves every single day. It's just not possible. You're gonna have some consequences. I'm talking about your ideal average day. Stuff that won't kill you. So now, average stuff that you could do on a daily basis and not get bored. I can't surf for 12 hours a day. I wanna be able to do some other things. And so, this is your ideal average day, not just your one perfect day. Does that make sense? All right, now I'm gonna put you guys to work. Here's the exercise. So what I want you to do is go get a piece of paper and a pen. Or, well, if you're in the computer, put this up into the window, and if you wanna write it down here in an email or text edit message, whatever, you wanna write this down, because I believe, and don't take me for every single word, but I believe it's somewhere, I've read this multiple times, it's 70 to 80% more likely for things to happen when you write them down, or you can type them down, versus when you don't. And this goes with goals, anything. So here's the exercise. Go get yourself a piece of pen and paper. All right, here's the first question. Where would you live? I'm talking geographically. United States, Australia, Asia, you name it. Where are you gonna live? Is it gonna be by the coast? I don't know. Big town, small town, out in the country. Now, what would the house look like that you're living in? 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom? Are you overlooking the ocean? Are you overlooking a cornfield? Do you have a big apple tree in the back? I don't know. This is your vision. This is your ideal average day. Now, what time would you wake up in the morning? Are you gonna have an alarm clock? Heck, I haven't used an alarm clock for over 6 years now, except for when I'm going to the airport and I've still missed flights. So, anyway, what time would you wake up? What would you do in the morning? What would it look like? Is it how I used to do it when I was in corporate world? Have an alarm clock. I used to be able to walk blindfolded with my eyes shut, take a shower, brush my teeth, eat breakfast, and get out to work without even thinking about it. What would it look like? And just to let you know, I'm reading all these questions. I can't remember every one of them. So it's important to have these details. Now do this now. Pause it now. Rewind this if you have not already wrote this down. This is key. Absolutely key. Think about these things, just little things. What would you have for breakfast? Would you even eat breakfast? Are you in such a hurry to where you have to eat a Pop-Tart going to work with a cup of coffee? I don't know. These thoughts that you'd be having in the morning. Think about these things. How would you spend your first half of the day? What would you have for lunch? Is this something that you'd be having at a side corner? Or would you be having like on the street, 5 minutes to do it, having it at the office? Or would you be having it with your family, with your kids, sitting down, having a meal? Who would you be eating it with? It's going to be coworkers. It would be people that you love, friends and family. What would your friends be like? Now think about this. Now I'm scrolling down on the computer because I have a lot of questions here and I want to make sure I get to all of these here. Would you be having it with people you love or versus people that you just have to work with? You spend a lot of time, most people in the corporate world spend about 8 to 9 to 10 hours a day with coworkers. And that is more time than they actually spend with their family members. Okay? What would you talk about? What would your conversations be if you were actually with like-minded people, your family, your friends, versus just having some ordinary job? I'm talking about deep stuff, so this may be just going, wow, he's getting out there. This is stuff, when I heard this back 5+ years ago, I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this possible? Tell you what, I will share with you what I wrote down the very first time when I did this exercise. And it's amazing when you write it down and you do it over and over, what things can possibly happen. So, in this deeper stuff, what would you do for personal fulfillment? What kind of books would you read? Would you fill your noggin with negative news and watch media and stuff and negativity all the time? Or would you fill it with good stuff? What would your life purpose be that you're striving towards? Do you have somewhere that you envision that you want to go? Now, think about what would your business be? Is it just to make money? Or would you do something that you actually love to do? I can share with you, I was an engineer for, 9.5 years out in the field. I went to 4.5 years. The reason I went to 4.5 years is because I went to Australia for a year, and that's actually where I learned to surf. So I had to go for an extra semester. So I spent almost 14 years of my life just in engineering, and I didn't even like to do it. But it made me an income. And I thought that's what you're supposed to do. So now, what hours would you work? Are you just going to work the typical 9 to 5? Or are you going to set your own hours based on if you want to go to, for instance, I went to a yoga class today at 9 o'clock. That's what I like to do. If there's surf, I'm going to surf. If the winds are right, tide's right, the waves are up, I'm going to surf. Are you going to base it around when you have to versus when you want to? And I'm not saying about not just, doing no work. I'm talking about you are creating your own day. So now, what are the people like that you're working with? So your clients. Who are your business partners? Who do you want to work with? Think about that. Do you want to work with people that are like-minded, have the same beliefs? Something to think about. Let's even get even deeper. I'm going to scroll the computer down just a little bit more because this is some good stuff here. Let's get into relationships. What does your relationship look like right now? What is your relationship with your family? Your significant other? You may be single. What's your relationships with, if you have a girlfriend, boyfriend? What about your kids? Are you there to when they wake up? Are you there when they're going to bed? Or do you miss that part of it altogether? What would you do for family time? Is it only on Saturdays? On Sundays? Maybe just on Sundays? Maybe just at the night? What is family time? Winding down. Well, how are you going to be winding down? Is it just to get home, fall into bed, set the alarm and wake up? Or can you actually just wind down, peacefully have a beautiful dinner, go to bed? Think about these things here. What would you do at night? What would you do during the day? What would your life look like? Where would you be? Thoughts about just before you go to sleep. Are you stressed out about making deadlines tomorrow? Where you gotta be, jumping on a plane, flying to the next city? I don't know. These are some things that you are creating your ideal day. Now, remember, these are all just based on desired experiences, not things. I'm not talking about having a whole bunch of houses, cars. I'm talking about the experience now. Now, when I heard this the first time, I thought it was a bunch of BS. Right? Now, here's what the reality is for myself. I go out, and when the surf is good, I go surf. When I want to go do yoga or whatever it is, I go do it. I still have structure now. Don't get me wrong here. I have structure, I have discipline. I'm very persistent, consistent, but I'm doing what I love. I'm focused. And when I spend my time working, it is very focused, but it is based on around the lifestyle that I want to live. Now, here's the greatest thing. What I thought was a bunch of bullshit. I actually didn't put my pen to paper probably for 6 months, and I saw my wife doing this, and I wouldn't do it because I was so scared, because I didn't even want people to read, if somebody was to get my journal, to read what I thought my ideal day would look like, because I thought maybe they would laugh at me. And finally I got enough courage to write this down, and I wish, well, I'm in Panama right now, the Bocas del Toro. My journal is back in storage in San Diego, so I can't show it to you right here, but I have it memorized, ingrained in my brain, that I can tell it to you on what it looks like. There may be a few things off. Like I said, don't, I'm not no lawyer or whatever, and don't believe every single thing here, but you're just gonna be, I'd say 98% spot on. So my ideal day was, I wake up in Hanalei Bay, and that's quiet. It's a very special place for us. My little girl, she's now almost 4 years old, and I wrote this before she was even conceived. So we got married there back in 2003. My ideal day was waking up, just hearing the waves crashing I'm oceanfront. I wake up while the light is still hazy, paddling out into the lineup, surfing for 2 hours, getting double overhead, which is about 12 foot on the face, 6 foot Hawaiian. And so spending a couple hours, coming back in, having breakfast with my wife, my children. I didn't have any kids at that time. I only have one at this time. Having breakfast, relaxing, doing maybe 2 to 3 hours of business. After that, have some lunch, spend some time with the family, maybe going to check out some sites around the island, you know, maybe having my wife do some shopping, whatever. Coming back before sunset, the last 2 hours, surfing again in double overhead waves. Coming back in after that, having some cocktails, going out to dinner with my family, putting them to bed, making some whoopee, and then doing it all again the next day. That was my ideal average day. Now, I'm not making whoopee every single day, but I tell you what, my ideal day is pretty ideal, and that's what I'm living right now. Now I'm not just doing it in Honolulu Bay, it's actually doing it all over the world. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about my cover identity versus my real identity. Now, when my wife got started 6+ years ago, and then I came in after, I had this cover identity from what the internet showed, and it portrayed people in front of their houses and cars, and it was about the money, money, money. And I tell you what, something didn't gel with me. Don't get me wrong, I did the same thing because I was just learning from the people that did it before me. We're coachable and trainable. We had pictures in front of the house, in front of the cars and stuff. I knew something wasn't right. It didn't click with me. And I remember I was actually in New Zealand sitting with my wife, and I was having conversations with people, and it was really focused just on material things. And for myself, even though we had these things, I wanted the experience, and I wanted people to know who I was and really know who I am, the real identity of myself. And the real identity of myself, I like to have the lifestyle. You probably can tell that. We've been traveling for over 2 years, living in different cultures, enjoying, you know, the cultures of the world. It's been just an absolute pleasure. And now, the way that this industry is going, social media really exposes people behind who they are and who they're not. You just can't hide behind a website anymore. And finally, I've actually became my real identity. I'm no guru. I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to market, because you know what? I don't know how to market. All I am is a guy that had a vision. And now I'm shaping it into what we really want, and are attracting the people that have the same mindset. It's not just about the money. Yes, you have to have the money to do the things. That is a key. But it's about the experience. I've let all my stuff go in the past, and it's just, to me, I've actually got to fall in to my real identity. So here's an exercise of how to attract your ideal business partner. Now, is it going to be with somebody that's going to be cocky and arrogant? No, 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 no. I'm attracting people that are like-minded, just like myself. People that are coachable and trainable. They have fun, they are driven, they are entrepreneurial minded, they have personal development in their mind, they follow the principles. These are the things I write down, and I've written this down many of times over the last few years. I've actually just went through this exercise before I'm doing this video right now. Who do I want to attract? Who do I want to work with? I want to work with people that are like-minded like myself. Somebody, when I meet them, I'm going to have a cocktail with them. I'm going to have dinner with them. I can sit down and we just flow. So you want to look at who do you want to work with? Because in our business, the people that we're working with, we're attracting people just like ourselves. So let's put these exercises together. What is your ideal average day? What is your ideal customer? This is something for these exercises that we have been over and over for the last 5+ years. Even in this economy, in January of 2011, we hit the 50K mark. Our expenses are only traveling the world and being in great locations are under 10K for what we do. And we're able to put away for education for my little girl. We're able to do some investments. This is possible. So you got to do these exercises and really want it bad enough. I want to thank you for sharing this time with me. This was a gift that was given to me 5+ years ago. I'm giving it to you. What I really would like for you to do, if you didn't take that piece of paper and pen out or writing it on your computer, go ahead and do it. Because right now you can choose today, either I'm going to take action and create my ideal average day, or you can just go about and keep everything the exact same. So from me to you, enjoy it. It was a gift. And if you really want to know the nuts and bolts about what our business is, click the link below. If not, enjoy this. Once again, it's a gift. And I tell you what, please share this gift with somebody else as well. This is Brian Swan from the Unstoppable family. I am behind, once again, the crazy, weird picture, but I'm overlooking the Caribbean Ocean, or sea actually, of Panama in Bocas del Toro. Cheers.